Federal judge is blocking 3 Venezuelan immigrants from being transferred to the Guantanamo Bay naval base. Part of the base is being used as a facility to house migrant detainees as part of the president's mass deportation plan. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata is live from the Pentagon. Charlie, what are the lawyers for the 3 men arguing?
Hey, Vlad, the lawyers had been challenging the legality of detaining the men in the first place. This is already underway, so the judge had already been overseeing that lawsuit. Where it became more complicated, and when we started paying attention, was it was decided that the men would be transferred from a facility in New Mexico to Guantanamo Bay, which you and I have previously discussed. Those flights to Gitmo are already underway. The plan is to set up a detention facility for as many as 30,000 migrants. That was under an executive order from President Trump. So this temporarily blocks that transfer, but it just sort of highlights the complexities of this deportation. There are questions about whether the men in custody may have been part of that Venezuelan cartel, again, that you and I have discussed. That would make them high-risk detainees. The problem arises from the dozens of undocumented detainees already sent to Gitmo, what status they're going to have going forward. We know a prison was set up there specifically to hold al-Qaeda suspects after 9/11, and around a dozen or so, maybe less than that, suspects are still being held. In his decision, federal judge Kenneth Gonzalez wrote, there is uncertainty involving the jurisdiction. It should be noted, though, this is specifically for these 3 individuals, so not the legality of the whole process. But again, it just sort of reflects the muddy waters going forward once they scale up to literally tens of thousands of migrants. Like, how do you resettle them? What's their status in the meantime? And can they be held legally, and for how long?
All important questions that you're raising there, Charlie. In the meantime, the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, is on his first major international trip as Defense Secretary. What is he doing in Europe?
Oh my gosh, where do we begin? So he's there to meet with NATO partners for the first time. Anybody from this administration will be meeting with NATO partners there. There's a lot to discuss. So he'll be going to Poland, he'll be going to Germany, and going to Brussels for that NATO summit. The top of that agenda will be what to do about Ukraine. Now, there is a presidential drawdown authority that is still in effect, about $4 billion worth of U.S. aid that is headed out to Ukraine. They could put the brakes on that, but I think what we're going to see here is the same sort of messaging that the Trump administration has been saying to NATO partners, saying, look, you have got to invest more into NATO. Some NATO partners are well below that 5%, 3% GDP. Some are above 5%, notably countries like Poland, where he is going to visit. There's a large U.S. contingent of U.S. troops in Poland, also in Germany. There will also be a meeting of the Ukraine Contact Group. Now, this was created by the former Defense Secretary, Lloyd Austin. There were questions as to whether that group would continue and how involved the United States would be. So this time, for the first time, Great Britain, the United Kingdom, is hosting that particular summit. So as it's been described here, he's going to listen, not necessarily to make these broad sweeping statements, and then sort of figure out the state of play as we move forward.
All right, Charlie D'Agata for us at the Pentagon. Charlie, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.